Wow.
Wow. Be nice if I could see.
Yeah, I know. I haven't. I'm still setting stuff up. I just set for live.
Why would you set us live first?
Like, I haven't adjusted the size of the SCP thing. I'm still adding tags. I
Why would
got
you
the
set us
title,
live
and
if
I
you
got
weren't ready?
it shown on stream. I'll get it in a moment. I need to turn my fan on. It's hot in my room all of a sudden.
Man, look at this guy.
Ugh. 3 years. Crazy.
Oh, what?
Someone's been following for 3 years, and they just checked their follow age.
Wow.
I don't know why there's a Duolingo Dredge drop. I genuinely have no idea why that's a thing.
By the
It's
way, he looks
been Himmer. Yes, Ridge.
the achievement for cooking 30 steaks,
But yeah.
2.5%.
Kill that bot.
Yeah, that's a really bad bot. Fucking hate
Maybe
the
someone
bots
would
that
be
are
inclined
like
to click on it if they
insulting.
weren't. Yeah.
Oh man, look at all the cobwebs in here. Yeah, get the fuck out. Even if you're a polite bot, you get executed on the spot. Like, I don't get why they think being like rude in the bot message is the play. Alright, hold up. Let me adjust the size of this a bit. There we go, that's better.
Well, now that it's gone, I guess you won't be able to buy followers. Damn shame.
Ah, oh, damn. I was just thinking about it, too. I was just thinking about it. Alright. The ring is highly dangerous.
Oh, thank God. I was worried it wasn't.
You've been here since Tower Defense Simulator on Roblox? That's so long ago, but yeah. That's back when I was still streaming like non-stop because I'd just gotten into it. That didn't last long.
Condolence.
We fit you caught a Murex shellfish.
That's true. That is true. Ridge added blocked term peak pie. What the fuck is... I know that's the, like, site that they tried to link, but, like, what does that mean? That doesn't make
It
sense.
doesn't mean anything, I don't think.
Alright. You want to read the first one, or shall I, Mord?
You.
Me? Me?
No, Ridge, no,
I'm
fuck you.
I'm not playing ink games on Roblox. That is just Squid Games, isn't it? That is just Squid Games. I'm not doing that. Item number 110. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. The entrance to SCP-110 is to remain closed off at all times unless otherwise permitted by 05-0.
Pause.
What?
We forgot the music.
Fuck, you're right.
You're a clown in the shape of a man.
Oh, I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool.
You're a clown in the shape of a clown.
What a fucking thumbnail.
Yeah, no kidding.
I have been meaning to watch Gotcha Coulda, but
Manga's good.
you think I can find a just... How's
Sure.
this?
Oh wait, no, there it is. Relax Cafe, our trusted ally in these trying times. I mean, this'll work, I think.
Yeah.
Let me
Dystopian is
turn it
kind
down
of the...
just a smidge.
Do not spoil Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, because I'm waiting to watch it, like, whenever I can. Turn it up just a smidge.
Down just a smidge. That'll do.
Another. I bet it
Yeah, it's
ends sad. I got a blue fireball. Or not fireball, small ball.
Alright.
Turn it up all the way. No. Special containment procedures. The entrance to SCP-110 is to remain closed off at all times unless otherwise permitted by O5 redacted. The land covering SCP-110, roughly 6 square kilometers, is to be developed into a suburban area that will not attract the attention of the general public. Any movement that SCP-110 might make is to be explained as minute seismic activity. Further complaints are to be ignored. Description:
Not my problem.
SCP-110 is an entire city that was buried 0.5 kilometers underneath a large farm in redacted New York. Survey teams 2 and 3 concluded that the amount of surface area that the city is buried under covers approximately 6 square kilometers. Numerous items of high interest have been discovered within SCP-110 and will henceforth be labeled as SCP-110-XX. Known history of SCP-110. Large earthquake occurs in rural New York, far from any city centers. The only casualties were a man and his dog, and so no significant media attention was given to the event. Minor earthquakes continue to occur in SCP-110's general area. The U.S. federal government dispatches a team of geologists to the site to determine the cause. Results came back inconclusive. SCP Excavation Team 03 is ordered to investigate the site. Upon arrival, the team is greeted by SCP-110-01, who is then detained and moved to Redacted for further questioning. Information gained from SCP-110-1 and SCP Redacted reveal that there has been a large temporal disturbance in the area of SCP-110 that has been causing earthquakes due to the displacement of soil and rock. Another SCP excavation team is sent to site. After many months of work, SCP Excavation Teams 04 and 05 are only able to reveal the strong, impenetrable concrete-like shell of SCP-110. Investigation is halted until further information becomes available. Due to the recent decoding and decryption of the files contained on SCP Redacted, schematics of SCP-110 have become available. Excavation Teams 04 and 05 are sent back on site to locate the primary entrance of SCP-110. The entrance to SCP-110 has been discovered, and the excavation teams are immediately met with what can only be described as a foul odor. SCP-110 has been an active Class 4 city, but due to a temporal accident, its core surfaces were heavily damaged, and the entire city was displaced. Work begins to cover up the existence of SCP-10, its excavation, and the thousands of dead civilians inside. Layout of SCP-110. Yeah, I fucking love the SCP explanation and rating videos. Not so much like there are some that really dumb down the SCPs, like if you're like a toddler, and I don't like those ones. Any that like refer to like the D class as like some guy named John, like, oh, John doesn't know that if you don't look at it, it teleports and kills. I fucking hate those ones so much.
Most of the animated ones, yeah.
Yeah. The general layout of SCP-110 is essentially a series of concentric rings connected by tram, train, and other transportation lines. Surveyors have determined that SCP-110 has numerous sections and levels to it, with all specific functions, which shall be described in greater detail here. Core services. God damn. The numerous maps found posted in what were high traffic areas of SCP-110 labeled a central column of assorted utilities as core services. Upon exploration, which was limited due to heavy security restrictions, SCP Exploration Team 01 discovered a myriad of technologies that kept the underground city self-sufficient. Among these technologies were a series of matter reconstitution chambers, a combination reactor that provided energy from both nuclear fusion and geothermal sources, an elaborate water recycling system, and a large waste reconstitution area. The core is surrounded by numerous elevators and emergency stairwells. Numerous areas of the core have been assigned to certain personnel for research. Atrium Colossi. This large, open, domed area surrounds the core and apparently once held vegetation. The dome itself was a massive display, its composition undetermined, which was used solely to depict a sky as an indication of time and day. Numerous tram lines span at least 3 stories of the atrium, all leading to and from the core. Personnel have described them as looking like spokes in a wheel upon discovery. The death toll per area was highest in this area, suggesting that it was a high-traffic part of the city. Commercial ring. A ring of what used to be small, independently owned shops and chains around the atrium colossi. It is unknown whether or not commercial products were manufactured within the city, however, due to the immense size of the core itself and the city's apparent self-reliance, it is highly likely that the core possesses a manufacturing area. Habitation Ring A. The styles of living spaces found in this area suggest that its inhabitants were the wealthiest of the city. Numerous documents found throughout the city seem to confirm this assumption as well. Habitation Ring B. This entire ring was inhabited by the middle-class citizens of SCP-110. The area is still being searched for items of interest. To date, redacted SCPs have been recovered from there. Habitation Ring C. This ring was inhabited by the lower-class citizens of SCP-110. It was found in extremely poor condition and is currently being restored by SCP maintenance teams 01 through 12. It is speculated that due to its location furthest from the core, it suffered the most damage from the temporal disturbance. Damage to SCP-110 increases proportionally to distance from the core. Atria Veges. As so named by numerous maps, these atria were only slightly smaller in area than atrium colossi, and provided an estimated 80% of all foodstuffs to the population of SCP-110. These atria were once open-air spaces and thus suffered a great deal of damage upon arrival at site, as is estimated that SCP-110 was placed at least 300 meters below its original position. Recovery of the atria is revealing advanced plant-growing technology that has useful applications.
He looks at Brick.
Yeah, I noticed. I could use a break from reading as well, god.
This is cool though.
I like it so far.
Just a funny little underground city.
Oh, Ridge. Was that actually a Gold Crown Rathian?
Oh, no, the monsters and rampages don't have real sizes.
Oh, okay. That's a shame.
They're just not real.
Trust me, it would be really easy.
Ah, good. Hey, I just said it was a wrong ball. Ugh. Alright, back to reading the ad break.
I've got an idea.
What?
Ah, damn.
Favorite SCP so far? That is way too hard of a question.
It really is.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of good ones, especially recently.
Yeah, it's really
Like-
hard to say what my favorite is.
Like, I like Iris as a concept. I liked the one with the monkeys.
Don't bug you.
The fact that one of the people there was just trying to teach them how to build a car. Well, technically just working on his, but still. Good stuff. Alright, we can continue.
Yeah. Atrium Animus. Atrium Animus was responsible for the remaining 20% of foodstuffs. This atrium has at least 20 stories that were once modeled after the natural environments of the animals that were raised there. Each level had a tightly controlled climate and was subdivided so that different species of animals had no contact with one another. Some of the genetic labs attached to the Atrium Animus were found intact and are currently being explored by personnel. The dog. What dog? The one with the
there's
eyes?
been a couple. Yeah, the one we had a bit of a fit reading. Mostly Helix.
Yeah. Atria recreus. These atria were used for the sole purpose of recreation. They are found between the different habitation rings and typically consist of parks, artificial bodies of water, shopping malls, and other types of civilian recreation. These atria have been suggested for use with SCPs that require an outdoor-like environment, or a temperature and humidity-controlled environment. Conversion plans have been drawn up. SCP Research Ring. This city apparently had its outermost ring devoted to research of safe and Euclid-class SCPs. Although no documentation within the city is able to confirm this ring's existence, this also suggests that SCP-110 was not originally designed by the private sector and rather was used as a cover-up for SCPs is currently unknown. I read that really poorly. This ring is highly dangerous, as it has suffered the most damage out of all sectors of SCP-110, thus potentially freeing some of the more dangerous SCPs. Only 2 members of SCP Exploration Team 03 have survived exploring the ring. Their accounts are contained within Document 110-F.
Should we see what the ring is highly dangerous actually links to? Ooh. Okay, scroll down, see if it's connected to more.
I think this is just straight up one of the exploration logs of that area of 110.
Yeah, well, let's...
This is long.
We could swap off to me handling it if you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is like I finish this out and then you can switch off onto this.
And then we'll check any other red text.
These are just links to other.
Oh wait, no, those are just SCP links. Never mind. Not real.
Yeah. Alright, architectural styles of SCP-110. SCP-110 has been confirmed to be of human origin, and all materials used in its construction are terrestrial. The architectural styles of SCP-110 seem to vary depending on location. The main styles are listed below. Core surfaces, utilitarian. Atrium colossi, Greco-Roman revival, applies to all atria. Commercial ring, postmodern. Habitation ring A, Art Deco. Habitation B, expressionist. Habitation C, utilitarian. SCP research ring. 2 damage to determine. The different architectural styles of SCP-110 create a problem when attempting to ascertain the general era it was built in. The earliest documents found claim that the city was built in Redacted by the Redacted Group. Document 01-A. The last note. To those who find this document, my name is Stefan Kolsky. Rather, my name was Stefan Kolsnick. I completely fucked up his name the first time. I will be dead by the time you read this. I was the chief engineer of this city, as well as the director of Redacted Program, contained within the Outer Containment and Habitation Rings. Due to an accident with an entity known as Redacted, the entire city of Redacted has been dislocated from its original area of Redacted. Nobody here knows where we are. From what I've been able to observe, the outer rings have sustained heavy damage, and their contents are threatening the inhabitants of the inner rings. Though we are surely doomed anyway, as the core has sustained heavy damage. 3 of the main life-sustaining surfaces contained within the core are damaged beyond reasonable repair. Any attempts to repair them would take more time than we have left to live. Life support systems will go down soon. I would estimate they have between 4 to 10 hours of function left. To whoever finds this, contain Redacted as best you can. Do not follow the same mistakes as our containment procedures had. If you do, you shall regret it. End document. List of notable SCPs found within SCP-110. Of particular note is a vivarium in the SCP Research Ring containing stable populations of SCP-392, SCP-5280, and SCP-4781, among other non-anomalous flora and fauna. Recovered documentation, data expunge. Data expunge.
Wow.
Wait,
Alright,
wait,
one
wait,
moment.
wait, wait, wait.
Huh? What?
It says introduction.
Yeah.
Is this actually like a separate thing?
Under construction, it said, so. L.
Okay, might as well go ahead and read this anyway. As long as it's not like
Alright,
a
so there might be
5.
more in the future to this one, or it might have gotten taken out.
But yeah, who knows?
Fair enough. God damn. Agent Greenwald was by no means afraid, only strongly wishing to be elsewhere. As he ran, quickly avoiding small chunks of rubble and broken machinery, his thoughts remained more on the past than the immediate situation at hand. The day's shift, indeed his entire tour inside SCP-110, had been quiet and routine. Constant work was being done to map and catalog all the areas. Engineers were working on ways to crack into the vast area still sealed off, and there had been no disappearances or deaths for months. Even the main power grid was starting to give up its secrets. A deep bass throb pulsed through the air around Agent Greenwald, accompanied by a shudder in the ground under his feet. He fell, small bits of dust and plaster drifted down from the high domed ceiling, bringing both a sudden, sharp pain in his ankle and the current situation to the forefront of his mind. Greenwell rose, limping forward as another louder pulse shook the air and ground. They had located a module, labeled Civic Reclamation Global Class. The whole city was riddled with these modules, tiny little self-contained booths, containing everything from emergency supplies to whole laboratories. They appeared to have been activated when the event happened to SCP-110. Most were still closed, with others appearing to have been damaged or looted at some point. However, this one was different. It was huge, bigger than 4 city blocks and heavily reinforced. It also appeared to have been opened at one point, and then closed back up sometime later. The team slated to crack it open had gone out that morning. Everything was going as planned until a sudden loss of contact. Agents had responded to the entire module. Agents had responded to find the entire module missing along with the staff. Greenwell had responded with them and had been the first to notice that they had lost contact with core services. Another heavy rumble rattled through the floor, followed by the faint sound of crashing and twisting metal. Agent Greenwald limped faster, looking around the open area for any nearby doors or exits, and finding none. He gasped as a misstep sent a screaming bolt of pain up his leg and quickly fell behind a heap of twisted stone and metal. Gripping his tortured ankle and feeling the bones slide unnaturally, the deep bass pulse came again, loud enough to rattle marble-sized stone on the tile, followed by another and another. Agent Greenwald balled up, trying to be as small as possible, fighting the gnawing little rat of fear that was trying to work its way into him. The heavy pulse abruptly stopped, then one final tone hard enough to make his heart rattle in his chest. He looked as if he would. He stayed silent and he stayed silent and still, balled as tight to the hunk of rubble as he could, listening. Nothing came to his ears, just the faint sound of dust settling. He rose, slowly, plodding a clear path to the east wall amid the rubble, trying to sight something to use as a crutch. It was as Agent Greenwald started to hobble to a promising chunk of pipe that a harsh blast of steam and sound burst both his eardrums and sent him sprawling to the ground. He screamed, holding his head, blood flowing between his fingers as the shadow loomed over him, floodlights blinding him as the pulse hammered him again, sending him into a spasm of agony. Blind and deaf, he screamed again as hard metal points suddenly dug into his flesh and roughly lifted him, his head spinning and awash with pain. He felt rather than heard grinding of gears, the crackle of electricity. He felt oil, smoke, and ash immediately cake to his skin, the taste of metal thick and gagging in his mouth as more hooks and points burrowed into his flesh. As he felt something start to grind and crush his feet, moving up to his ankles, he acknowledged one thing before thought was lost in a wash of pain, blood, and oblivion. He was afraid. Warning. Contact lost with SCP-110 Command and Security. Initiating lockdown. Situation reported to O5 Command. Grant entered the room, pausing briefly to examine the faces arranged before him with a suspicious glare before sitting down. He reached into his pocket, taking out a battered box of cigarettes, and pulled one out. Still looking us through for doppelgangers, Grant? Laughed Richards, running his hand over his shaved head unconsciously. Happened before. Take no chances, grunted Grant, lighting a cigarette with a thick metal lighter and taking a long drag. So what do you think it is this time? Mutating virus? Artifact retrieval? Or just your stereotypical big nasty? He asked. Grant shrugged, eyes on the floor as he hunched over, leaning on his knees and exhaling a frail cloud of wispy gray smoke. Don't care, just want to kill it and go home, he mumbled in response. You, me, and pretty much everyone here, man, Richards replied, leaning back in his chair and folding his arms behind his head. Everyone always does, he thought to himself, eyes running across those assembled. Everyone was tense, as they always were before a mission. Sure, it was masked behind a thick veneer of joking and camaraderie, but if you knew where to look, the signs were there. The newbies would fidget unconsciously with little things at hand, chuckling nervously as they made idiotic boasts, betraying their ignorance of the things against which they would inevitably fight and sometimes die. The veterans would smile and joke, though the humor never reached their eyes, as they had seen too many friends succumb to the horrors of their line of work, both physically and figuratively. And then there were the loners like Grant, who never connected with anyone, just sat there, waiting for the mission to start like a man would an execution. The door opened again, and upon seeing who it was, everyone went silent. The man paced through the center of the benches, picking up everything with those bored eyes before slouching against the wall at the end. So, boss, you know what's going down? Asked Hill, nervously. Everything that was ever said to the boss was almost always said nervously. A slight side effect of the boss being completely psychotic and liable to snap with little to no provoking. No, he replied tersely.
He will beat you to death.
Yeah, apparently. Hill opened her mouth to say something else, but slowly closed it, rather than tempt fate. Smart move, thought Richards. Now that he was here, all comradely music and such had quieted down, trying to be inauspicious as a man tiptoeing through a minefield. This continued for some time, until suddenly the view screen at the end of the room lit up, displaying a blank screen with only the words "Audio Only" stretched across the middle in bright red lettering. Everyone began to shift in their seats uncomfortably at this new development. They only used the view screen when they were delivering messages that they wouldn't in person. The man slumped against the wall, narrowed his eyes at the screen, looking in irritation at the small camera center positioned in above it. Omega 7, here are your orders. We have recently received a distress call from an outpost inside the recently unearthed SCP site. Since receiving that message, we have completely lost contact with the area, informed the disembodied voice coming from the VDU's tinny speakers. You are to investigate the area and exterminate any and all threats in the immediate vicinity. Transport is in 3 hours at Docking Bay 4, and all equipment will be provided en route. Read ordered calmly. Seems pretty standard, replied Foley. Then, as if in an afterthought, the speakers called out once more. Also, Pandora's Box will be protecting, escorting, and working with Mobile Task Force Zeta 9. The room went dead silent as the view screen faded black, save for a very slight cracking sound at the very back of the room, followed by the sound of something small, light, and hard tumbling to the floor. The entire group, as a whole, turned to look at the source of the sound. The boss had clenched his teeth so hard that one of them had cracked and popped out of his hideous grin underneath the immense strain, his jaws clamping down like an industrial vice. The room emptied in seconds. 0900 hours. Mobile Task Force Omega 7 informed of mission and mission specifics. Briefing Room 8 completely destroyed by SCP-076-2. Oh, good.
What was 7-6 again?
That was Able, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sounds correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was 73 and 76, I thought.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Listen up, guys. Guys. Listen up, Roy shouted into the common room, quieting the rumble of voices from the Zeta 9 team. A few more members ambled out of the equipment room in full suits, clumping across the room like shock troopers from every evil empire in sci-fi history. Several men strengthened up in their chairs, elbowing each other with a whispered, "Knock it off," as the room quieted. After a look around the room to assure everyone's full attention, Roy cleared his throat and addressed the men. All right, folks. I know everyone's heard the rumors about us getting mothballed after that SCP-455 cock-up last year. Let me lay those to rest right now. At 0900 hours, we've received a dispatch order. Everyone is to suit up immediately after this meeting and report to dispatch. I'll turn this over to Lev for the details. Roy sat down amid a murmur of hushed conversation and suppressed groans. Two younger men looked at each other, grinning excitedly. The murmur stopped when one of the suited men stepped forward, cracking the seal on his helmet, and removed it as he stepped into the center of the circle of men. Lev Shatterman. That's a hell of a name.
Lev Shatterman. Crazy.
Fuck me. Okay. Lev Shatterman's face, looking oddly small in the bulky armored suit, was as grim as ever. His deep voice boomed into the room, the thick Russian accent is giving everything a heavy note of command. I'm not doing an accent, by the way. Comrades, we have lost contact with the support team inside SCP-110. Hostile activity has been suggested as a cause. The site is currently locked down to prevent any further containment failures. Someone is needed to crack the seal, restore containment, and find out what happened. That someone will be Team Zeta-9. Cheers and groans rose up in equal amounts, the two younger men exchanging high fives, a high five and grinning. Lev cleared his throat hard, silencing the room. We will be working with many support services and teams and will function as forward recon. We have been selected for our small size, high mobility, high survival rate, and large-scale SCP experience. Lev paused for a moment, shifting his helmet in his hands as the men murmured quietly. Due to the high probability of hostile resistance inside SCP-110, we will be teamed with a combat-based response team. Sorry, that threw me off. We will be teamed with a combat-based response team to provide combat support, with our function being focused on recon and investigation. The room went silent as everyone slowly turned to look at Lev. Roy was the first to speak. Lev, what the hell does that mean? Are you saying we have to work with some guns-blazing gung-ho strike force full of kids who think they'll be the world's next big hero? Lev shook his head, writing his helmet in his hand. No, as I understand it, our support team is more close quarters based. We received support from Team Omega-7, led by SCP-076-2. Dismissed. Everyone report to dispatch in 1 hour. Lev snapped his helmet back into place and strode quickly from the room. The remaining men were stone silent, still staring where Lev had been. He started to file out slowly, the two younger men pale and almost sick-looking. Roy watched the room empty and shook his head, muttering under his breath. Might as well just shoot ourselves in now and get it over and done with. Dispatch issued as Zeta-9 at 0900 hours. All teams proceed to set rally points. Operation will commence ASAP. Request by SCP-076-2 to remove Zeta-9 from operations denied. Request by multiple members of Zeta-9 for temporary leave denied.
Oh my god. It's so funny
Yeah,
that
they
the 076
Listen,
also doesn't want to
they
deal with
heard
them.
Buddy was there and they're like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah. And he also wanted them gone.
I mean, he just kind of likes killing shit.
But yeah, actually, I did want to hear more about that, so I want that to come
I
out
want to hear more about that, but
Yeah,
I
that one
hope
was
it's
good.
actually
This is-
under construction.
This is the kind of article I like as an addition to a SCP article, not like the fucking plague doctor talked to a fucking anomalous mosquito for a bit.
Yeah.
Became like lovers with it or some shit.
No, he was showing her to where her previous lover was and hadn't been for probably like a century or some shit.
Oh my god!
Huh? What?
Why is it titled
Oh.
Garden Pest SCP new PNG?
I mean, I'd keep that as a pet.
Exactly.
Look at him. He's so silly.
Yeah, I'm really
Wait, hang
excited
on.
to have this.
Scroll up.
Yep.
2 SCP-111 specimens as Ooze Drake left and Slimy Belly right. Oh, they have names.
They
yes.
fucking named them. Oh.
Yay.
I actually really like this
Yay.
article. I do remember it. I believe this is a if I'm correct, this is
It's
What's the group called? Dr. Wondertainment. I think it's related to him. Okay. Item number SCP-111. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. All specimens of 111 in activity are housed at Site 19, Redacted Wing, in a 5x5x5 meter plexiglass enclosure containing a temperate forest habitat transplanted from its natural surroundings. Ugh. Habitat temperature will be maintained at 30 degrees Celsius. Feedings that take place weekly by personnel placing 3 kilograms of iceberg lettuce into the containment chamber. Water is to be supplied by an automatic misting system, which regulates humidity levels at 50%, both for water required by SCP-111 and to prevent fires. In event of SCP-111 specimens breeding, personnel are to collect all eggs and transport them to the Biological Studies Wing for freezing. Description: SCP-111 is apparently a artificial species of invertebrate vaguely resembling snails. Adult specimens of SCP-111 are approximately 20 centimeters in length and 12 centimeters in width, and 15 centimeters in height, although exact size differs slightly between specimens. SCP-111 specimens differ from ordinary snails in that they have a warm-blooded metabolism, complex eyes, small horns consisting of cartilage-ridged tentacles, apparently increased intelligence. Personnel are requested to read test log redacted for examples, and a complex vertebrate-style jaw structure, as well as specimens lay eggs possessing hardened shells. Most abnormally, SCP-111 specimens possess small hollow sacs below their lower jaws containing methane from digestive byproducts. A series of redacted along the inside of the trachea serves as a lighter, igniting stored methane as the specimen exhales, blowing a small jet of flame from its mouth. Said fire breathing generally occurs in events of stress or anger, although is not apparently used deliberately for destruction, but rather as a warning. This is presumably due to the limited size of methane sacs, which limits SCP-111 specimens in the amount of fire they can exhale at a time, and requiring both time and starch-rich food to refuel. SCP-111's behavior is inconsistent with that of ordinary snail species, including whistling and hooting vocalizations easily audible to humans, high intellect seen in such tests as redacted, and parents caring for their young. Hatchlings have been observed imprinting on their parents, other members of their species, or researchers. This is presumed to be a deliberate trait based on Document 111-A, as it means that hatchlings imprint upon owners. History: on redacted, a package containing 12 SCP-111 eggs and Document 111-A was mailed to Data Expunged, a Foundation front organization. Mobile Task Force Alpha 5 have proven unable to locate the sender of said package. Document 111-A. New from Dr. Wondertainment, Dragon Snails trademark. The perfect pets for the fantasy-loving child. Care and hatching instructions. 1. Having read this document, take the eggs out of the box. Be careful, Dragon Snail TM eggs are fragile. 2. Put the eggs in a warm, safe place and wait 7 to 10 days. 3. Hold your newly hatched dragon snails so they get a good look at you and think you're their mommy. 4. Enjoy your new pet dragon snails. To feed your dragon snails, give your new little friend some raw veggies, lettuce, Brussels sprouts, beans, any sort of salad stuff you don't want. Remember to give them water, small glass each, once a day. For your enjoyment, dragon snails come in 6 types. Breed them for unique pets. Slimy bellies, adorable and oozy little fellows, with awesome fire engine red colored skin, little black horns and belly, and a speckled tan shell. Beautiful robin's egg blue eggs. Ooze drakes.
Oh, those weren't names, those were breeds. Damn.
I still think it's adorable.
It's cute. I love this.
Ooze drakes, inquisitive little creatures with neat banana-colored skin, curly horns, and striped shells. Pale tan eggs like a chicken. Goo wyverns, dark blue-gray skin, flattened shells, and a bumpy horned head make goo wyverns look like tiny sea monsters. Eggs are a fantastic glassy green color. Blobworms.
Leviathan class snail.
blobworms, green and gold stripes, pointy shells, and a single horn, not to mention fuzzy tails, make blobworms wonderful pets. Eggs are tan with a silver tint. Glow drakes, new from Dr. Wondertainment. These little fellows may look like blue-black slimy bellies until they light up. That's right, glow drakes glow in the dark. Eggs are a golden color with little red dots. Gunk wyverns. Chubby, green-skinned, and dome-shelled. Gunk wyverns make great pets. Eggs are transparent, so you can see the baby dragon snail inside. Parental
I don't
notice.
like that
As
as
Dr.
much.
Wondertainment's dragon snails breathe fire, they have been known to cause house fires. For maximum playtime, fun, and safety, it is recommended that fire extinguishers be kept handy. Despite this, Dr. Wondertainment is not legally, morally, or financially responsible for any injuries, death, or property damage resulting from the unsafe use of dragon snails, or any other Wondertainment products. By reading this document and incubating your dragon snail eggs, you agree to all said terms and forfeit your rights to lawsuits, organized boycotts, protests, honor duels, etc. Enjoy your purchase.
Oh god, I love these.
Yeah, I fucking love dragon snails. They sound so
God, we
cute.
started off
I
with
want
two
one.
really. We start off with two really cool ones. I like this.
Yeah.
I want a little molds of one of those.
I want a little snail. Oh, there's. Okay, yeah, that is a bit longer. I mean, my last one wasn't too long. Do you want the
Up to you.
funny theme park ride?
I horribly misread the name of the park for a moment there.
I'd appreciate if you could take this one, because I'm looking at it and I'm seeing a lot of.
I was taking a drink of water.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll take it. Item number SCP-112, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-112 is contained within the abandoned Redacted Amusement Park, designated Site Redacted. The site is to be staffed with a standard complement of 12 armed guards dressed in designated Amustastic Land garb. Okay, cool, so they've indirectly given us the name. Fantastic. To prevent civilian interference. SCP-112's power supply is housed within a standard Foundation prefab building with 2 high-security door locks and a standard staff of 6 security staff and 1 operator. Since all their rides in sight are intentionally disabled, civilian intervention is low. As the anomalous properties of SCP-112 occur regardless of its condition, only mandatory maintenance work is to be done on SCP-112. This also ensures that local civilians treat SCP-112 and its surroundings as abandoned and ignored. All tests involving SCP-112 must be conducted with a portable toilet nearby, as well as a small table with basic food and drink items. SCP-112 is a steel sit-down roller coaster formerly known as the Blue Street Surfer, built in 19 Redacted. SCP-112 was marketed as the crown jewel of the Redacted amusement park. Initial testing of the ride resulted in extremely negative experiences from testing staff. When these reports became public knowledge, the financial repercussions of the failure of the Street Surfer resulted in the parent company of the amusement park going bankrupt. The property was abandoned and undisturbed until 19 Redacted, when a local gang broke into the park and reactivated the improperly disabled rides. SCP-112 included. When police attempted to arrest the members who were exiting SCP-112 after its inaugural ride, the riders began to redact it, attracting local media attention. For more information, see Article 112, Redacted. Suspecting the ride had traits within its mandate, the Foundation purchased the park under the auspice of rebuilding the park as Amustastic Land, in order to test any potential anomalous properties from the ride. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
He looks if you
no idea what it actually does.
It's fine. We're getting there. When SCP-112 is started, the ride functions as expected until Point Alpha, its primary drop. When a car reaches Point Alpha, the train vanishes. After 3 minutes, the estimated time the train would normally take, the train rematerializes as Point Omega, 3 meters from the coaster's starting point. Human subjects riding SCP-112 have a drastically different experience compared to outside observation. The time frame between point alpha and omega is massively extended, with subjective ride times ranging from 4 minutes to redacted months. Oh god.
Oh god.
Still single
Pete.
digits, but like, ooh.
Yeah.
Properties of the ride also vary from person to person. Most subjects report elements on the ride that do not exist on the ride proper, like bat wings, cobra rolls, and inclined loops. Subjects do not have any sense that the rest of the world is alien or otherwise different. Only the ride experience is different. Upon exiting the ride, subjects typically experience feelings of confusion and ill health, depending on the subjective time they spent riding a SCP-112. These feelings are based not on any physical maladies, but the subjective experience of dealing with a physical malady for an extended period of time. For example, a subject with a subjective ride time of 3 days may experience confusion that he had strong feelings of hunger for most of his ride, but at the end of the ride he was not hungry at all. Huh.
Ugh.
Okay. Addendum A, Assorted Experiments. Experiment 11, 23, 45, 34. Not even gonna try. Date February 22nd of redacted. Subject D34534. D-Class was sent to SCP-112 at 2:42 p.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 2:43 p.m. Rematerialization at 2:46 p.m. Upon exiting SCP-112, D-Class quietly asked for aspirin before passing out. Upon revival and medication, D-Class reported a subjective ride time of 36 minutes, with multiple loops and twists not found on SCP-112's architecture.
Alright. There should be an ad break here in a moment, so it's gonna take a moment. Does this guy know that there are numbers above, like, 6?
No. Oh wait, yeah. Look down a.
Oh, he
My
discovered
God.
7.
And 6.
I mean, there was
He
one
found it
6
again.
up here, but, like, you understand why I say that,
He
right?
found it again. He found it again.
Like,
I don't know why they had to make it so fucking numerous. How many? Okay, hang on.
like, what do you
that's
mean
a million,
this was
right?
experiment number, like, what, 11 million?
No, hang on. Okay, so. Oh god, it would be. The fuck?
Like, that... There's no way they put a million, like, a million people on this ride. Just to
Unless
see what
they're just classifying that as in like the global pool of experiments, but like, what the fuck does that?
Yeah, even then it's like, why the fuck would you do that? Because that's so, like... This is like fucking 300,000 experiments after this one. At that point, you're not even experimenting. You're throwing them to the meat grinder.
Yeah. I mean, they've probably got a lot of throwing mates. Also, man, you notice how on the third experiment the D-Class and number list goes down to like only 4 digits.
Maybe that's because they keep fucking tossing millions of these guys in there. Wait a minute! I just realized.
Yeah. Yes.
Does that... That adds up closer than you'd think.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay, I don't see an ad on my end.
I get it now. This is the SCP number. This is the D-Class.
Oh! They
Why
just
the
didn't label it properly.
Why
Okay.
the fuck is that how this is done?
That is awful.
Yeah.
I have to assume this was like an earlier documented SCP. Alright. Experiment 112 67 56 4. Date June 14th, I think. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. Subject. Fuck it, I'm not reading that.
Just do the first two. Just do the first 2 nut digits. We don't need the last half.
D6756 4. I'm just going to be referring to them as D-class if they go above 4 digits.
Yeah. I
Or if they're
usually
an
just
odd number.
abridge it to like 67 because genuinely the extra 3 digits on the back mean nothing. Who cares?
If it's an even number, I could cope, but
Yeah.
it just feels weird. Anyway, D-class was sent on SCP-112 at 1:30 p.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 1:31 p.m. Rematerialization at 1:34 p.m. D-class reported a subjective ride time of 4 minutes, which D-class reported as enjoyable with the exception of that part where the car jumps off the tracks and lands right before the loop. Alright, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's good.
It's a
Okay.
roguelike fucking it's a roguelike.
I mean, yeah, it seems it's procedurally generated track, which is really funny.
Oh.
His ended prematurely due to a fucking rounding error or something.
Yeah, the track actually generates way too big and it crashes the system, so this person just gets removed from reality. They never come back.
Damn it. Alright. Experiment 112-5893. Date July 1st. Subject D80 or 5893. D-class was sent on SCP-112 at 12:30 p.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 12:31 p.m. Rematerialization at 12:34 p.m. At the end of the ride, D-class immediately ran to the table with consumables, wordlessly consuming everything he could grab onto, including the wrappers of previously consumed food objects. D-class became violent when Foundation staff attempted to subdue him, even going as far as to redact him. Upon capture and interviewing, D-class remained confused and disoriented, continuously saying the phrases, "No food till the ride is over," "Let me sleep," "Let the spinning stop," and 152. The Foundation believes that D-class's statements imply that his subjective ride time was approximately 5 months long. During his trip, he experienced 5 months worth of malnutrition and exhaustion, despite no physical proof of these experiences found.
Yikes.
Experiments 112, 7556. Date August or September? I'm a fool. Whatever. Subject D7556 with one standard issue camera facing D7556. D-class was sent into SCP-112 at 11:36 a.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 11:37 a.m. Rematerialization at 11:40 a.m. D7556 experienced symptoms similar, but muted, to those of D5893. During the interview, D7556 explained that his subjective ride time was 1 month and 6 days long. During his trip, he was unable to eat or sleep and suffered major headaches from SCP-112. SCP-7556 reported experiencing every sort of roller coaster element currently in use, and a few believed to be conceptual. Oh god. Camera footage lasting 3 minutes showed SCP-7556 sobbing for the duration of the ride, with movement consistent with SCP-112's physical track. Incredible.
It really sounds like he came out of it on the other end just like calm and compliant. Like he wasn't hysterical at all, but like during the ride he was fucking sobbing. But then like as he was stepping off, it was like, yeah, it was really long, I got really hungry, I had a headache. Had a loop-de-loop, double loop-de-loop, triple loop-de-loop, quadruple loop-de-loop,
The fantastically named Helmbreaker.
Oh my god.
Helix, if you would open the things.
Yeah, I know, give me a moment. I had another comment. Why the fuck facing him?
Yeah.
Don't they think they'd gain more information from seeing what the track looks like?
Well, maybe the other two... Oh no, those are interviews. Damn it. Well, I mean, go based off of the camera footage lasted 3 minutes, so it seems like cameras don't really work.
Oh, okay.
So, like, either that's... Either the footage is like spoofed in a way.
That's
It's just like
fair,
generating what it
but
would assume the person writing it would act like,
that's
or
fair,
it's
but this I
condensing its
assume
general
is
emotion.
I assume this is their first test with a camera, as they don't mention anything happening with a different camera. So I don't understand why they didn't
Yeah.
try it differently at first.
Wait, no, this can't be their first test.
Because even then, like, does the camera just show the Foundation agents watching it, since it sees the real world? But it's dematerialized, so is it like a different God, okay, that would have been so much more interesting, but it's whatever. Alright, I'll take D class.
Alright. Subject D35784. Interviewer Dr. Redacted. Interview type post-write interview. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. It was
I'm not reading.
It was just a roller coaster ride, dude. Maybe you have me confused with the other guy, you know, the one that attacked when the ride was over.
I will in time. Describe your experience on SCP-112, please.
What's there to say? Before I was sent to jail, I designed coasters. A couple minutes too long of a ride. You always gotta worry about that, but the twists that thing has are damn good. A few of them I'm pretty sure I mocked up back in Redacted. It would have been a lot better if the Redacted next to me wasn't acting like a damn fool.
D23512. What was he doing?
It's what he wasn't doing that pissed me off. He was slouched over so much that his restraints were taut, just facing forward. Think his mouth was open the entire time. If it were possible, I'd say he looked like someone who had been on a crying jag for a few hours. I don't know. When we got to that slow point before the bank curve, I tried snapping my fingers in front of him. Idiot just barely turned to face me. And you know what happened afterwards.
Yes, he punched you.
Not really a punch, really. Slapped me, shaking me, trying to choke me. I didn't get the impression that he really wanted to kill me, just wanted to get an answer out of me. That's what he said, actually. Shit, like, why didn't you look at me? And why did you not stop cheering the whole time? In a very hoarse voice. Was in mid-question with another when the guards introduced their rifles to the back of his head.
Dunk.
It just ends there. It's kind of abrupt, I'll be honest. Not like
Yeah.
a last message from the doctor saying, that'll be all, thank you, and then just, like, leaving.
I mean, they probably just didn't have much else.
Yeah.
Okay. D23512. Interviewer Dr. Redacted. Interview type post-write interview. Forward. This interview was conducted 3 weeks after writing on SCP-112 with D35784. D23512 is not willing to speak verbally since his ride. From time to time, he attempts to speak, but shows signs of discomfort and pain in doing so, stating that his throat is too sore to talk. While there are no medical issues with D23512, his experiences have obviously left him traumatized from experience on SCP-112. Doctor estimates a full recovery is possible before monthly terminations, and that at such time he will be capable of estimating precisely how long a subjective ride was. This interview was concluded through written communication. Given his fixation on certain traits of the ride, this transcript has been edited for brevity. Hello, 23512. How are you feeling?
One moment. Alright.
I
Still hurts.
can't wait for the revelation that this roller coaster just transports you to a different universe.
Well, yeah. Listen, it's like when you go to the mining dimension. This is Planet Coaster. Ew.
It never
No way.
like it never matches up with what's observed because like they're riding the roller coaster from the universe that they left.
Infinite roller coasters. Still hurts, still dizzy, loops and loops, spins and spins and spins, and forever and ever.
Why do you say your throat hurts?
Screamed over and over. Girl wouldn't answer me. She never looked at me. I screamed and screamed till I couldn't scream anymore. Throat got better, screamed again, never looked, never noticed, just kept cheering the hell of ups and downs and ups and downs and side to side and side to side to side.
I'm assuming you're talking about the person who went on the ride with you, 35784. Go on.
Girl
Helix.
with the big jiggling tits. Cheered and laughed. Every spin, every turn, every twist. Even when it got dark, I could hear her laughing and wooing. Couldn't sleep because of her laughing and cheering. Light and day, bright and dark, always screaming and giggling. How could she do that?
She told me you were just sitting there staring ahead. She said she tried to get your attention, but you never responded.
I waved and shook her. She didn't move, didn't notice, just kept cheering, tried to tune her out for a few months at a time. But she never noticed me. Kept cheering, kept screaming, kept laughing at me. As I starved and peed myself and slammed my head against the side till I bled, just kept laughing and screaming. Through the loops and the spins and the dark, deep, dark dips that never ended and never stopped crushing.
23512, I'm trying to help you, but acting insane won't help you in the least. There was no injury to your head at the end of the ride.
I was there, I felt it. The warm on my head till it got cold and stopped spilling. Still itches.
So what happened at the end of the ride? You had a bit of an issue with 35784.
She stopped laughing and giggling after all that time, and she looks at me and smiles and says, "Nice ride, eh?" And I shook her and tried to ask her why she wouldn't stop laughing and screaming. I didn't want to hurt her, not really, just wanted to know why.
Repeats redacted times until D35512 is disabled.
What do they mean by that?
Either they sedate him or they simply take away the writing implement. I'm going to assume they reintroduce him to the back of the rifle.
Oh, this poor guy. I feel bad.
That is actually really funny.
Yeah.
Also fucked up, but really
she just
funny.
had a chill ride, but to him it was like months and months of non-stop torture. God.
In her perspective, he's just sitting there fucking slack-jawed.
Just like I was doing a role play. You couldn't see it because you're not looking at my webcam, but oh my god!
Oh my god.
This is not a small one. Well, it's my turn anyway, so.
Yeah.
Item number SCP-113. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-113 is to be kept in standard storage in Site-23. SCP-113 may be handled with laboratory gloves. No organism may be exposed to SCP-113 without prior approval. Personnel exposed to SCP-113 are to be kept under medical observation for 7 days. Description: SCP-113 resembles a small polished piece of red jasper. Analysis shows that SCP-113 is not composed of jasper, but redacted composition similar to that of other recoverable objects. Why are you screaming at me, Otis? Stop it. When SCP-113 comes in direct contact with the flesh of an organism possessing sex chromosomes, the organism's physical characteristics associated with gender and biological sex are transformed, including genetics and secondary sexual characteristics, either reversed or altered. The process occurs in 4 stages. Lasts approximately 0.2 seconds. SCP-113 bonds with the cells that it touches and induces an unidentified chemical change. This process causes tissue damage similar to mild burns, and SCP-113 cannot be removed from contact with the subject until all stages complete. Stage 2. Lasts approximately 20 seconds. SCP-113 emits a low-intensity electromagnetic wave which travels through the subject's body. Subjects may experience nausea and vomiting, along with a stinging sensation throughout the body. Stage 3. Lasts approximately 60 seconds. Throughout this stage, the subject's cellular makeup is temporarily transformed. Altered cell composition ranges widely from being unidentifiable as human to a unique variation of partially differentiated stem cells. The subject will experience intense stimulation of all sensory nerves during the final 20 seconds of this stage and describe this part of the process as extremely painful. Subjects in poor health may die of shock in this stage. At the end of this stage, the subject's body biologically. Fuck. The subject's biological sex is permanently altered. In standard cases, the subject's biological sex will be changed to the opposite biological sex. All primary and secondary sexual characteristics are altered accordingly. Stage 4. SCP-113 disengages from the subject and becomes inert. It's a fucking sex change rock.
The sex rock. Moving on.
The sex rock. Subjects with sex chromosomes atypical for their species, such as intersex humans, are affected in unpredictable ways by SCP-113. In human intersex subjects, this appears to be influenced by gender identity. Such subjects may be unaffected or their bodies may change to match baseline male or female bodies with sex chromosomes to match, or other results may occur. Usually change seems to match or partially match subjects' gender identity during initial use. If gender identity is non-standard, whether SCP-113 alters its effect based on the presence of a non-standard gender identity is under investigation. Gender identity of human subjects is not typically altered by SCP-113. In subjects with non-standard gender identities, typically gender identities which do not match their pre-exposure biological sex, this usually results in positive psychological effects. In subjects with standard gender identities, male, female, matching pre-exposure biological sex. Psychological effect. I feel like I'm reading the fucking, danger warnings on, a pill you'd see on a commercial.
Yes.
Like, for an erection lasting over 48 hours, fucking type bullshit. Psychological
If you
effects.
feel burning for more than 3 hours after touching the cock rock, see a doctor.
God damn it. Psychological effects are usually negative. These appear to be natural psychological reactions, and not an anomalous effect of SCP-113. SCP-113 exposure results in unusual effects in certain species. In the Komodo dragon, a number of ZWZZ individuals were transformed to possess WW chromosomes instead of ZZ or ZW, which was in every instance fatal. In a nematode, no males were produced, despite having two sexes, hermaphrodite and male. Male subjects became hermaphrodites, and hermaphrodite subjects were unaffected. Note, in wild populations, nematodes are male nematodes are extremely rare. Subjects of single sex hermaphrodite. Oh, this word.
Hermaphroditic.
Yeah, sorry, that word fucked me there. Holy
That's
shit.
a weird one, yeah.
Such as earthworms, will not be transformed by SCP-113. The object's process will stop at the second stage, and the object will become inert. So it just burns them. It's just a hot rock. It's just a brand. God, can you imagine taking an earthworm, taking this rock with your gloves or tongs or whatever they use, and just pressing it onto that earthworm as it just singes half of the earthworm?
Here's a worse thought. Imagine you get into a heated argument with someone outside. They grab a fistful of rock or something. They chuck it at you. In addition to being pelted by gravel, you also get hit by one of those, and it
You
just
just
sticks
get
to you wherever it hit.
gender swap with huge tits, and that's the start of a porno.
And you have to keep in mind, it feels fucking awful as it's changing your body.
Yeah, miserable. That's what I'm thinking too. Is stage what? Stop yelling at me. Stage 2 is the one where it sends an electromagnetic shock, causes nausea and vomiting, and a stinging sensation throughout the body. This is tissue damage similar to mild burns. This would kill an earthworm. I don't even think they'd have the chance to if I take a match and stick it to the head of an earthworm.
I mean, chemical burn might be a little different from a fire sort of burn, but
I don't think it matters on an earthworm, man.
I mean, probably
To be
not.
fair, I
But
don't fully know the
earthworms are also
durability of
somewhat
an
resilient.
earthworm, personally.
Eh,
Come on, Otis, stop
relatively.
screaming at me. Go.
All right,
The cat has been let out.
incredible.
Previously exposed subjects may undergo SB-113's effects again by reinitiating contact with SB-113 after approximately 60 seconds have passed. However, in 25% of cases, immediate second exposure to SB-113 fails to transform the subject correctly. Transformation failure varies in nature, but usually includes massive bone, organ, and tissue damage to the subject, as well as partial or complete obliteration of genitalia. This
I love
commonly
the use of
results
the
in death
scientific,
by organ trauma or internal bleeding.
the scientific use of obliteration.
Obliterate this man's testicles. Failure rate can be affected by subjects not coming into contact with SV-113 for a lengthy period of time, which varies by subject. Patterns are under research. Under normal circumstances, transformation failure rate increases exponentially upon multiple exposures. Subjects who survive rapid, repeated exposure are eventually transformed, redacted. Further anomalous elements continue to appear as exposure count increases. They just turned them into
The
like
sex rock.
a weird gender amalgamation after enough touching the rock.
Thank you, Rich. I'll be back in a second.
That's fine. Should I keep reading? He's already gone. Chat, he left. Give me just a moment, but I think I will take this one. At the very least, this front half. He probably wants to be here for it. I'll wait. Oh, I am so tired already.
Hey, let's read this one too.
Yeah, I know, that was the plan. I was waiting for you to get back.
Alright, I'm gonna be eating, so.
Alright. Is that another smog ball, or did I already do that one? That is another fucking smog ball. I'd like you guys to cut back on the smog balls, though, because it was like the third one tonight, and like, it's a lot of sugar. It's also not convenient for what I'm reading, because when my mouth is filling with saliva, or I'm sucking on a hard candy, it, kind of makes it hard to read.
Didn't you
Alright.
thrive off of vinegar for a while?
But
What do you
yeah,
care about sugar?
but that's, vinegar isn't,
No, but I'm saying this wouldn't be the first time you're, you know,
yeah.
eating things that aren't necessarily great for you. Anyway,
It's only 3 candies, I just don't like eating a lot of candy all at once. That's all. Like, I don't have a condition or anything, but like, preferably after like the 4th one, it's kind of like, okay, this is tiring.
fair
Please
enough.
stop. I don't want another papa. Item number SB-114. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SB-114 is kept in a 10-meter standard 10-meter. What was 3 again? It's not squared. Squared is 2, right? What do I say here?
Cubed.
Cubed. Kept in a 10-meter cubed standard concrete humanoid containment cell at Site 17. The cell is positioned at the bottom of a 400-meter mine shaft to prevent staff members from coming into the proximity of SB-114. The cell is accessible by a staircase restricted to emergency use only. Daily rations are provided to SB-114 3 times a day by means of a dumbwaiter. SB-114 is also permitted to submit written requests to attending staff by the same means. To date, SB-114 has been granted 1 Quran, prayer rug, and 1 blank journal with pens. Research on SB-114 is suspended until further notice. Elimination of SB-114 is acceptable in the event of a multiple containment breach crisis. Okay. Just kill them because it's easier than recontainment, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright. Description. SCP-114 is a Pashtun woman of Afghani origin, approximately 40 years old and 160 centimeters tall. SB-114 has the involuntary effect of fostering and escalating violent conflict between all individuals in her proximity. Subjects within 10 to 15 meters of SB-114 become inconsolably aggressive at trivialities or points of little consequence, often to the degree of projecting hostile motives onto others. Arguments generally arise between individuals after 1 to 3 minutes of exposure to SCP-114. The resulting arguments turn to violence in all cases. Notably, persons
So between us, nothing would change.
persons affected by the presence of SCP-114 will never exhibit hostility towards SCP-114 or attempt to inflict harm upon her. Subjects ordered to deliberately injure SCP-114 find themselves unable to do so. For relevant information, see Experiment Log 114-A. How the fuck are they going to eliminate her then? How are they going to do that?
Mm.
Oh, so there should be an ad hitting. Yeah, there. So I'm going to wait.
So I think it has to be like a conscious effort to like hurt them if they aren't if they either aren't aware or like aren't thinking about it. They probably could. So my guess is like on a quote kill safe fail safe button. They probably wouldn't specify that's what it does. Yeah, no, the entire place just like collapses.
Oh. So I like how no one mentioned that it's called SCP Saturday, and it's not.
Yeah. I see no such ad break, by the way.
It says there's an ad break on my end, so I'm going to believe it to be so.
All right, but if an ad break starts on my end after you said that, I'm gonna laugh.
It just said ad break ended. And yes, I am tortured with constant tiredness, but I'm extra tired today because I got home from camping and a long hike, and then immediately got a Monster Hunter. So I am reasonably ready to get into bed. Alright, I probably do Experiment Log because it seems very relevant. This is just they tried to hurt her experiment.
Yeah.
Alright, Experiment Log 114-A. Experiments were performed between redacted and redacted. SB-114 was placed in a test room with distancing protocols similar to a containment cell. Hold on. Attending researchers have observed through remote electronic means. Experiment 114A-2, or A-1. Procedure. Subjects D12 and D85 were placed in the test room with SB-114. No instructions were given. Results. Subjects did not attempt to interact with SB-114. After 75 seconds of exposure, D85 verbally requested a cigarette from D12. D12 responded with negative. D85 proceeds to shove D12 against the wall of the test room. Subjects began a fighting with apparent intent to kill. Subjects ignored. I'm not okay. Subjects ignored verbal entreaties to cease. Subjects terminated. Throughout the experiment, SB-114 watched the proceedings but was visibly unmoved. I mean, to be fair, she's probably been dealing with this for like a long time.
The amount of
This is
times
just,
that
like,
exact scenario has probably happened to her is likely driven her near insane.
yeah.
It's like, hey, can I borrow a cig? I'm gonna fucking murder you.
I'm gonna kill you. Experiment 114A-2. Procedure. Subjects D54 and D56 were placed in the test room with SB-114. A plastic screen was placed across the length of the test room so that subjects were unaware of the presence of SB-114. Comparable to Experiment 114A-1. Subjects terminated. Experiment 3. Procedure. Subject D1 was given a carving knife, stainless steel, 15 centimeters. Subject was placed in the test room with 114, with orders to kill her. D1 immediately rushed at SCP-114. SCP-114 recoiled, screaming. D1 stopped abruptly at approximately half a meter from SCP-114 and dropped the knife. D1 stood still for 4 minutes, growing visibly agitated. At 5 minutes, D1 began yelling incomprehensibly and moving around the room in an unnatural, ape-like fashion. After 8 minutes, D1 began banging on the walls with his head and fists. Subject was rendered unconscious. Subject terminated.
So none of that was actually related to the SCP. He just kind of was deranged. They sent a fucking ape
he
in
just
there to
kinda
try
did
and
that.
stab her.
They actually just sent a monkey in a suit on accident. Like,
Ah, fuck.
oops. Alright. Experiment 4. The subject D43 was placed in the test room with SB-114 with orders to remain still. After 4 minutes, subject was forcibly removed from the room by robotic means. Result. Subject shown signs of aggression and agitation comparable to experiment A3. Heart rate was recorded at 210 beats per minute. Blood tests revealed levels of cortisol and adrenaline impossible without the application of drugs. Subject returned to a normal physical and mental state after approximately 15 hours. Okay, so they're just removed from the zone, they calm down.
Yeah.
Procedure. Subject D72, a native Afghan, was administered a dilute mixture of mild sedatives, antidepressants, tetrahydro something, alpha blockers, and beta blockers. Intravenously.
The clinical spectral.
Yeah. They fucking drugged him.
Yeah.
Subject was placed in the test room with SCP-114 in order to attempt a normal conversation. Results. D72 addressed SCP-114. SCP-114 maintained eye contact with D72 but did not respond. After 45 seconds, D72 began shivering and shouting. At 1.5 minutes after exposure, D72 fell to the floor in convulsions. Subject expired after 3 minutes. Autopsy of the cadaver revealed a massive cerebral hemorrhage. Honestly, yeah.
Editor's note. Maybe we don't maybe we don't dope up the next subject with God's chosen mixture.
Yeah.
And then tell them
God.
to kill.
It's like trying to like balance out like the movable object's unstoppable force by just like giving them more pills to meet the unstoppable force, and it's like they burn each other out and they just explode.
The fucking the brain shaker cocktail they gave that man.
Communication with SCP-114 has only been possible through written notes or electronic means. Researchers have gleaned that SCP-114 is unaware of her effect on other people. She shows little to no response to the exposure to violence, and seems to be under the impression that human beings are naturally aggressively hostile to each other.
I mean, I assumed that. So is that implied that she was like that from birth?
Maybe. Who took care of her?
That's depressing.
Who took
Probably her
care
father,
of
who
her?
would have won against the pregnant woman,
Yeah.
or formerly pregnant woman. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, do you think the effect was present in the womb?
No.
Who knows?
For the sake of simplicity, no.
SB-114 is consistently unresponsive and uncooperative with researchers, and appears to be acutely wary of human interaction. Due to the difficulty of communication with SB-114, psychological evaluations have been speculative at best. Rudimentary assessments strongly suggest psychological trauma. Combat stress reaction and or compassion fatigue have been tentatively proposed.
Wait, so hang on. Have they not tested like talking to her via like an intercom system
Yeah, there
or like a
theoretically
video
isn't anything
interview?
wrong with that. Unless, like, maybe she's just so unused to people writing that it is a distance enough from, like, talking to people. Like, maybe she just has a downright aversion to
They
talking to
could
people
hand her a
because
fucking
that's how she.
psychological evaluation forum, though.
I don't know, man.
Whatever.
Document 114-A. Abridged eyewitnesses report from Redacted, a former soldier in the 40th Red Army, interviewed March 23rd, 1991, translated in Scriptdrive, Drive Redacted. We took Redacted on February the 1st, 1980. It was a shit little village, but the
Mujahideen.
Mujahideen put up a damn good fight. 8 of our men killed, 15 wounded, 1 tank destroyed. It was dead cold, too. You think the Middle East is warm, but you go to the mountains in February, it is not so. Yeah, no more smaller balls.
Want me to
Anyway,
take this?
we were mopping up the area, going through the huts, looking for weapons caches and the like. It seemed like every doorstep had some odd babushka weeping and tearing at her hair and clutching our knees. But at the end of the street was this one big hut. No babushka outside. Only there were trays of food left out, like an offering before the door. Redacted pauses for several seconds. So six of us go in and to search. It was big and empty inside, dusty and practically bare. Didn't look like anyone had been there in a long time, but soon we hear this soft whimpering, though, and look! Over the corner there's a little girl, must be 8 or 9, curled up and all alone. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Peter. Uh,
Yoda.
Peter, he was a big softy. He goes over, he bends down, puts on his hand, says, "Come on, little one, it's okay, we won't hurt you," but the girl won't budge. Then Peter stands up all stiffly and looks back at us funny. Constantin walks over and puts a hand on his shoulder, tells him to leave the girl alone, laughed naturedly. Peter gets all red-faced like he's had a full bottle, and shouts, "Get your damn hand off my shoulder," or something of the sort. Looks like a wild animal. We're all in surprise, and suddenly they are on the ground, and he's bashing Constantine's face in with the butt of his rifle, screaming. It took 3 of us to pull him off, and by then Constantine was dead.
Well,
Girl that makes people angry, I guess?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh god!
Ah,
This
fuck.
motherfucker is a rogue military asset.
No, not the Tonka truck.
Tonka touch JPEG. Alright,
That's it.
oh,
I'm
this
gonna
is
show
a
you what
really
Tonka
short. Do
Tuck
you want
truly
this one, or
means.
shall I take it?
What's the next one look like? Before I sign off on my death. Okay, yeah, I'll take the next 2.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll figure what this is after.
Yeah. Item number SCP-115. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-115-1 is to be stored in the Secure Vehicles Storage Facility in Site Redacted, where access is restricted unless accompanied by Level 3 personnel or higher. SCP-115-2 is currently being kept in a secure drawer of Dr. Redacted's desk. Okay, cool. SCP-115 is not to be used without Dr. Redacted's explicit approval. Any site staff using SCP-115-2 must return it in a timely manner or face punitive measures. No other special containment procedures are required.
I like to
Description.
imagine that they're required to return it within a timely manner, just because the guy whose desk
I like
it's
it.
stored
It's
in
cool.
would be upset otherwise.
I like it. I think it's neat. Description. SCP-115-1 is a toy dump truck with no identifying markers or labels to indicate its original manufacturer. However, unlike regular toy dump trucks, SCP-115-1 weighs as much as the actual vehicle it represents. Roughly 90 tons. That's funny.
How strong is his desk?
No, this is instance 1. The other one is
Oh,
instance 2, which
okay.
is the one he keeps in his drawer.
I got it.
It is currently unknown how the vehicle weighs this much, as analysis of SCP-115-1's composition reveals that it is made up of the same commercial plastics commonly found in similar cheap quality toys. How fucking dare you? SCP-115-1 is also capable of motorized movement and can function exactly like a normal dump truck, excepting the fact that it is several magnitudes smaller. Oh, okay, it's the control, I see.
Yeah.
It is controlled by SCP-115-2, which resembles a heavily modified RC car controller. SCP-115-2 can control SCP-115-1's movements despite the fact that SCP-115-1 lacks any kind of radio receiver or mechanical parts. SCP-115-2 does not work with any other radio-controlled device, but otherwise functions exactly like a mundane radio controller, even requiring batteries to function properly. Testing has shown that in addition to its abnormal weight, SCP-115-1 also has a similar carrying capacity as its larger counterparts, being able to carry or tow roughly 120 tons of cargo. Oh, that's hilarious. In addition, SCP-115-1 also apparently needs diesel fuel in order to run properly. There is a small port on its left side that allows fueling, though it stores and consumes as much as fuel as a regular dump truck. How it consumes the diesel fuel, as well as where it is stored, are issues currently under study. SCP-115-1 was originally found at a construction site in Redacted, where workers attempted to move it, but found the task impossible due to the fact that SCP-115-1 weighs 90 tons. They were forced to use heavy machinery to finally move SCP-115-1 off the construction site and to a nearby town where it became a local curiosity. I like the idea that this is just somewhere in like fucking nowhere middle of Oregon. And there's like, oh man, this thing's cool. Agents Redacted and Redacted discovered SCP-115-1 and found SCP-115-2 at the same construction site. Class A amnestics were distributed among the town people in order to cover up SCP-115-1's existence. To anyone using SCP-115-1 for testing, I would like to remind you about Newton's laws. Driving SCP-115-1 recklessly at high speeds is inviting disaster, and we've already had to deal with several destroyed walls and equipment due to improper handling.
They're just
Yeah,
playing with it
I
like
was
it's a
about to
normal
say
truck.
because I was about to say, if they don't comment on it, despite them very clearly doing so twice now, then I was gonna say, yeah, they shouldn't let anyone drive that fucking thing. Cute as it is. Alright.
Oh,
It's good, it's great.
I like that one.
Item number SCP-116. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-116 is to be kept in a 16 by 16 meter cell constructed of Kevlar with 1 meter porous rubber padding on all surfaces. No personnel are to enter cell without proper briefing and threat reduction measures. See Appendix 3. Cell is to be monitored at all times by 6 agents, 4 stationed at corner points of cell and 2 stationed with SCP-116. No pointed objects or intrusive testing equipment of any kind are to be placed in the possession of the agents within the cell. outside monitoring is attained using VBS-05 class concealed button cameras stationed at high corners in the cell. Outside monitoring is to be carried out by further 2 agents. If suspicious activity begins, initialize Achilles procedure Delta. All monitoring agents, internal or external, are to undergo bi-monthly IQ tests as well as standard weekly psychiatric analysis. Significant drops in the IQ of agents, greater than 5 points, are to be regarded as prolonged exposure and to be treated as outlined in standard quarantine instructions. Let's see. SCP-116 has the outward appearance of a Caucasian male of around 9 years of age. Skin is cauterized and scarred over 98% of body, limbs, and head. SCP-116's bone structure is drastically different from standard Homo sapien bone layout, and all bones are dangerously brittle. The most distinguishing difference between the human body and that of SCP-116 are the non-existence of joints in the latter. SCP-116 is SCP-116 is entirely capable of independent movement, but to do so would cause multiple shattering breaks to all bones affected by said movement. Oh god. I was born with black bones and paper skin.
Oh man.
To combat this, SCP-116 has shown remarkable self-healing and over a period of minutes can completely regenerate its rigid bone placement. SCP-116 has shown some language skills since acquisition. However, the only language it speaks is a disrupted and broken version of English, in which every word has been replaced with an almost entirely unconnected one. Oh, good.
The
Prolonged
broken
attempts to
man.
make boy. Prolonged attempts to make sense of SCP-116's speech have resulted in some long-term mental degradation in researchers. There seems to be no pattern to the word placement and attempts to continue to translate it. Research suggests that SCP-116 may be capable of low-level telepathy, which deteriorates the victim's brain functions over a long period of time. Okay.
Do we probably just see what this is?
Have a look.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
It just linked to a different SCP. We don't
Got
do
it.
that.
SCP-4000, whatever. Dementia.
Yeah, it's an ad.
Fantastic. Okay. How long is the ad?
No, I meant like
Oh.
this.
Oh.
I meant this was an ad to
Fucking...
like get you to the other. It's fine.
Oh. Well,
That's
don't fucking say that we're streaming.
yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Appendix 1. Sergeant Redacted 19-0529. Memorandum May 29th. Redacted. Subject. Development of suicidal tendencies by SCP-116. NB. SCP-116 has begun to show extreme suicidal tendencies. Request modification of monitoring and containment protocol to avoid undue damage to subject. Appendix 2. Dr. Redacted 19-1429. SCP-116 language notes. June 19th. Redacted. 116's unique linguistic setup is one of increasing interest to me. Continuing research by my team and me has yielded these somewhat basic results. Attached file 116 linguistics underscore AA0.001.doc. Fantastic. No clear reasoning has been found as to why 116 communicates in this way. Although the words spoken by it are English, the parameters under which they operate are drastically different. No attempt has yet been made to produce written language from SCP-116 due to bone structure anomalies. Even speaking can be an extreme challenge for S-116, despite its experienced dull pain receptors. I've taken a special interest in this subject, as the way in which it reacts to normal English is remarkable. It is obvious that what we say to it sounds just as garbled to it as what it says back to us does to us, if that makes any sense at all. In all my years at Site 19, I have never seen anything quite like it linguistically. I'll continue to study and record what I find. He looks if you could.
Hold on, I was distracted, so I'm rereading that
I
last
can tell.
article. Yeah,
Did you not understand what they
not
meant?
really, no.
Okay, so it sounds garbled to us. We sound garbled to it.
Oh, it's okay. I got it. That I was trying to find the actual answer in that.
It's a bit wordy, but
Yeah.
Appendix 3, Lieutenant Redacted 190349. Memorandum, June 30th. Subject: Procedure of and relating to worrying new suicidal tendencies shown by SCP-116. 1. No solid equipment weighing more than 8 pounds may be taken into cell.
I don't think
2.
it needs to
All
be that
interior...
heavy, I'll be honest. I think he can fucking break bones by walking, like.
All interior guards are to have canine teeth filed until blunted completely. Jesus Christ. Okay. Security level is to be raised to RT5, I guess. Full body cavity search and X-ray before entrance to cell is granted. 4. If any asphyxiation or hypoxia appears to be affecting SCP-116, emergency CPR is to be administered by internal guards. Wouldn't that crush its fucking ribs?
Probably. That's what I'm thinking.
Suggestion noted that SCP-116 should be connected to a life support machine even when not in danger of death to prevent unintentional termination. Yeah, probably. Appendix 4. Sergeant Redacted 190529. Memorandum, July 11th. Jesus Christ. Subject: Cessation of research re SCP-116. Any and all research regarding SCP-116 is to be immediately halted until further notice. Dr. Redacted, the primary researcher into SCP-116's language and delayed telepathy, is to be removed from the site and kept in solitary confinement until all symptoms of his dementia and schizophrenia have dissipated. All personnel involved with SCP-116 are to be quarantined until further notice. Full bone marrow transplants are to be performed on all agents who have been in tactile contact with SCP-116. Suggested termination of interior guard protocol noted. Appendix 5. Colonel Redacted 200212. Subject: Cessation of SCP-116 project. Memorandum, March 20th. Given the suicidal tendencies of SCP-116, its delirious effects on involved personnel, and lack of significant useful progress and research, I propose we allow SCP-116 to self-terminate in a controlled environment. This thing has, so far, proven to be a fruitless waste of resources. Perhaps a post-mortem examination will provide us with answers we haven't been able to obtain so far. That's dark, but also, yeah.
Yeah, fair, fair. It's taking a lot of
Is this
resources.
like the human
and
equivalent of that frail horse that we read a while back?
Yeah, except the horse actually wanted people to kill it. Meanwhile, this thing just wants to kill itself.
Yeah. Which I would too, considering.
This is a bitch.
All yours.
Give me just a moment. Item number SB-117. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-117 is to be kept in the small leather pouch it was found in, unless in use or in current study. Any personnel deemed mentally fit may enter the containment cell of the SCP, though if they are suspected to be trying to remove the SCP without permission, they are to be searched, and if that is the case, they are to be reprimanded. The door to the containment cell should remain locked, and a guard posted only when the object is in use. Description: the item appears to be a regular multi-tool of unknown make and brand, found in Redacted, Florida. At first glance, only the normal tools are found: screwdriver, knife, can opener, etc. But if the user is faced with a task, regardless of what the tool the subject intends to pull out and use, a tool perfectly fitted for the job will take its place, regardless of spatial quantities that are being broken by the tool. All other tools always seem to be present, though after the task is completed and the tool closed, unless faced with a task requiring that tool again, the tool cannot be found on the tool again. Stop glancing and focus on the article. Shut the fuck up! Sorry, that was like a little uncalled for. I'm so sorry for that. I kind of lost my cool
I
for a
mean,
moment there.
Thank you, we fit, as always.
Addendum. Those with level 2 security clearance should see document 117-B. Document 117-A. Effects of usage. After countless useless and testing with SCP, it has been discovered to cause harm and possibly death by the user by means of absorbing iron, copper, calcium, and zinc from the user's body as long as the user is touching the device. Gloves
You
seem
have
to have
copper in your
no
body?
curbing effect on this, and the rate of absorption seems to depend on the tools used/created by SCP-117. It is advised that only D-class personnel are used in conjunction with this SCP to prevent death or injury of researchers. There's an ad break popping up. I'm going to snooze this one because we're not at a good stopping point. Alright. I can only snooze 3 ad breaks per stream, and that's the last one. Usually I have to spend the first one, like, on the initial ad break that plays 5 minutes into every stream. It's so fucking bullshit. Alright. Document 117-B. Usage log of SCP-117. Redundant entries not entered unless they exhibit different results. Situation. Tool produced by SCP. A loose screw on a metal plate. Screwdriver, though not the standard screwdriver. What do you mean not the What? What do
Not the
they...
one that would have come on a normal, like, knife of this kind. Like it's more like a regular full-size screwdriver, I
Oh,
imagine.
okay. A nail barely in piece of timber. Standard hammer. A piece of timber with proposed cut lines drawn, an electric saw which needed no outside power source, a piece of bulletproof glass, an unknown laser cutting tool which needed no outside power source, SCP redacted, a bloodied combat knife,
Wow.
an agent with a broken bone, a small item with a trigger which when pulled emitted an odd radiation, instantly healing the injury.
Huge.
Oh, okay. Class D personnel fit for execution. Redacted. Communication needed with SCP-363. Redacted. See incident report 05X clearance required. A non-shuffled deck of playing cards. A mid-size mechanical shuffler. Class D personnel with terminal cancer. Item similar to the 6th test. A perfectly healthy Caucasian human male with no criminal record. Data expunged. A perfectly healthy Hispanic human male with no criminal record. Data expunged. I
I
like the
see.
implication that since there's no redundancies unless different results, these had different results.
Yeah.
This is a... Okay, to sum it up, it's a multi-tool, like a knife that flips out into different things, that just
Yeah.
magically makes whatever tool would be perfect for whatever situation the holder is facing. SCP-138, a metal plate with the phrase, "That's rough, buddy," carved into it.
Hang on. Which one is 138?
Yeah, I'm checking.
Damn it.
4,000-year-old
I see.
male, emaciated, wizened,
Got it. Yeah,
Egyptian
no.
tomb. Yeah, I think I got it.
Got it. Old.
Old man. A silver dinner fork in perfect condition. No tools could be found on the SCP. Well, what are you gonna do with that? What were they trying to see if it would like produce food to use the fork with?
I mean, I guess.
I like this one. Data expunged. Result: a screwdriver. Like,
Ooh.
what could it possibly be so fucked up that they had to expunge the data just for the result to be a screwdriver? What did it have to be? Maybe some like Church of the Broken God shit. Like they gave it the heart and it just gave them a screwdriver. A
A
dirty
gun with
window.
one bullet.
A nozzle that sprayed a mixture of soap and water that completely cleaned the window. An uncharged iPod. The iPod end of the charging cord, which needed no outside power source. A blank sheet of standard computer paper. A pen filled with a seemingly infinite supply of black ink. A Samsung cellular phone. A small device that, when attached to the phone, increased signal strength by approximately 250%. A
Holy shit.
paperback copy of How to Survive When Reality Doesn't. A functioning lighter. A hardcover copy of A Chronicle of Devas, non-anomalous. A functioning lighter. A hardcover copy of The Chronicle of Devas, anomalous. A functioning flamethrower. Item burned with no complications. Okay, I believe I already know what this is, but we'll go over that in a minute. A hardcover copy of A Chronicle of the Devas, non-anomalous, but recovered from the Wanderer's Library. An anti-book lice spray.
Huge.
Crazy. Alright. Document 117-G. Developments concerning SCP-117. After exposing the SCP to an array of different items and people, it appears that the object may very well be sentient to some degree. Because of this, we must consider the fact that the SCP is susceptible to telepathy and must not come into contact with any SCPs with known telepathic powers. Dr. Clement. The above was a transcript of the personal notes of Dr. Clement, who seems to have taken a harmless interest in the object. Testing with other SCPs is suspended as of 9/16 redacted. Alright, there's just an ad break pop coming up here in a moment, so we're gonna wait to continue. Oh, I like it so far.
Yeah.
I love when they give out a nice handy list of everything that the thing does. Just interesting. This is still like so funny to me. Is that they did a anomalous version and it gave a lighter, and then they did an anomalous version and it gave a flamethrower. Burn it harder. I have bad news, Ridge.
Speak.
I might not be able to get back on Monster Hunter tonight.
What?
I might be
Do
too
you think
tired and I
being
just
tired
want
is an excuse?
yeah,
I see.
EP. But I will be on it and hopefully catch up on quests in the morning while you're having a life. So that'll be good news.
I don't know what that is. I think you mean playing Fate Grand Order.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care much for that game.
Yeah, I know.
I never enjoyed it. You don't never watch Fate. No Fate Grand Order stream.
Yeah.
Sorry, it says ad break
You
is
would never
over.
see the light of day
Have you
again.
actually gotten an ad break? I don't know. Chronicle of the Devas is, I believe, the book that shows the history of the Devas. That's a link to an entirely separate article that we're not reading. Only once when you open the stream? What? I've snoozed it a few times, but I've let it play others, and it just hasn't played any. That's so weird. Unless you're using an ad blocker, and then it makes sense, but... This is the book that, like... I believe... Was it if it comes in contact with blood... If it comes into contact with blood, it expands the histories of the Devas, making them, like, last further and further into the future. Or, into the past, until eventually it's theorized that they would hit the present if they let the book keep expanding.
Interesting.
The Wanderer's Library is super fucking anomalous. Wyatt Library. I don't know what this is.
Well, have a look.
Are these just? This is just the. Oh my god, my
Oh,
eyes.
dear God.
My eyes.
This would be a stream or two of its own. Get me away from here.
I've been struck blind.
Yeah. Ow. Clef.
Alto Clef.
Well, nope, 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 nope. You're
Nope, I'm not
not
reading any of
doing
that.
anything with pataphysics until it comes up naturally.
Listen, I read he got a water bottle caught on his dick or something right above that. I'm good. I don't care. I ain't
What?
touching that.
Okay, hold on. I'm kind of
Yeah.
interested now.
I hate you.
Kind of want to go back and read it now. You know, maybe it does pass the stink test after all. All right.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, you fuck freak.
All right. Note 117-1. Testing is suggested for SB 882 and is under consideration by Dr. Clement. Note 2. Further biological testing is halted by Dr. Clement after incident 17-4. The SCP is still fit to be used for any repairs around the facilities as long as the SCP is followed by one or more armed guards briefed on the proper use of SCP.
Can you look do me a
Note.
favor?
What?
Move your mic very marginally back from your mouth. Your P's are popping.
Oh, okay, my bad. Alright.
No, just letting you know.
Note 4. After much consideration, I must deny testing of SCP-117 with SCP-882. The risk of damaging SCP-882 is simply too great to overlook. We'll check that out in a moment, just get a general idea of what it is. Note 26. After Incident 3, I'm forced to put a stop to all testing of SCP-117 in conjunction with other SCPs. The risk of a total loss of containment is far too great. All biological testing is to be halted until a later date, as the results so far have proved varying, and there is a limit of D-Class staff available for my research. Dr. Clement. Note 27. Biological testing resumed by Dr. Clement with mixed results. Testing of 117 with other SCPs under reconsideration by O5, though it seems unlikely further testing will occur. Note 28. Testing is suggested for SCP-682, Unkillable Lizard.
Yeah, you sure, buddy?
See what
I
it
don't
does
think there's
against
enough
that.
blood in the human body for that one.
Is this the fucking
Random
heart?
assembly of gears. It's a machine.
Oh wait, is this the machine that upgrades things? No, there'd be more
No,
text.
that's 912, I think. 913. Get out.
It doesn't say. It's just a fucking. That's
Get
just
out.
an ad.
It's a machine.
It's just a fucking ad. Doesn't seem like. It very much seemed like it was, you know, massively useful by like this, but whatever.
This is a machine.
Could you take this one at least for a little?
Give me a moment, but yes.
All right. I'm not tired. Who said that? Who said that?
Bitch.
Ridge, did you say I was tired? I'm not tired. I'm eepy. They're very different.
Okay. Item number SCP-118. Object Class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Due to the number and distribution of SCP-118, containment of every specimen is impossible. Known SCP-118 red zones are to be closed off to all civilian marine vessels and divers under the guise of a military presence or other plausible cover story. Contacts and navies known to operate near SCP-118 red zones are to be utilized in order to minimize the passage of military vessels through the red zones. If any
area within the red zones has a depth of less than 1,500 meters, the restriction is to be applied to aircraft as well. Oh, okay.
Oh.
All human activity in surrounding yellow zones is to be monitored, and any non-military vessels or individuals approaching the red zones are to be turned away. In the red and yellow zones, Protocol Toxic Harvest is to be followed to ensure the removal of devices generated by SCP-118. Furthermore, Protocol Cell Watch is to be followed to ensure the early detection of any emerging red zones. Samples of SCP-118 can be stored using standard containment procedures for non-virulent anomalous microbes. Description: SCP-118 is a species of ocean-dwelling protista that is capable of assembling functional, self-initializing nuclear devices from materials present in ocean water. Okay.
Great. Fan-fucking-tastic.
The fucking...
Bacteria
the
that build
nematodes are building
nukes.
nuclear warheads.
Wow.
While SCP-118 is unknown and hence has not been classified by the scientific community, specimens resemble protists of the phylum. I am not reading that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But have significantly increased levels of movement speed, nutrient storage capability, and resistance to alpha radiation. Specimens of SCP-118 have been found in all of the world's oceans and seas. Oh, good.
Oh.
When a survivable saltwater environment, specimens of SCP-118 will seek out materials including, but not limited to, iron, silver, copper, carbon, TNT, and uranium isotopes. Great. I like how TNT is classified as a... I know it says materials, but I like how everything else was like an element.
Yeah, and then it's just like, yeah,
And then,
explosive.
and then manufactured explosives.
Also, if there's just a nuke in the water, they'll take that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. When SCP-118 has located a material of interest, the material is absorbed into the cell using a method dependent on the size of the material. Single atoms and molecules, mostly substances that are dissolved in the water, are passed through the cellular membrane through specialized protein pumps. Larger particles, smaller than the cell itself, are ingested through phagocytosis. Larger pieces will have particles torn off through an unknown mechanism, which are then absorbed using the first two methods. This mining occurs in even solid and hard substances such as metal ingots. Upon reaching a threshold of absorbed materials, specimens of SCP-118 will move towards an assembly area on the bottom of the body of water they are present in and will contribute to the assembly of a nuclear device. The nuclear devices assembled are gun-type fission devices using uranium-235 as their fissile material. I'm going to kill whoever's driving around right now. Observation of devices in the process of being assembled show that the process starts with the assembly of a metallic rounded cylindrical casing for the device, followed by the creation of two subcritical masses of uranium and conventional explosives to propel them into each other. The mechanism by which SCP-118 enriches the harvested uranium is completely unknown. See Addendum 4. The device is then finished with the assembly of a uranium-238 tamper, which the two uranium masses will collide, and where the two uranium masses will collide and the assembly of a trigger mechanism. SCP-118 appears to assemble the necessary components by adding minuscule amounts of material to an initially tiny material seed. Differing atoms and molecules can be added to the same component, and assembled components are not necessarily homogeneous. It is currently unknown whether SCP-118 builds on the seed atom by atom or by adding very small sub-micrometer fragments. Great, thanks. The mechanism by which SCP-118 attaches new material to the seed seamlessly is unknown. The assembly time depends on the size of the device being assembled, water conditions, and mineral availability. But observations suggest that 300 days for a medium-sized device can be considered average. Once a nuclear device is finished, SCP-118 will detonate the device by completing a circuit in the trigger mechanism. Once 90% of the nuclear explosions recovered as a result of SCP-118 have had yields in the 20 to 35 kiloton range, although yields as low as 4 kilotons and up to redacted kilotons have been reported, so triple digits, got it. Aside from cases involving human interference, failure to detonate has never been observed, as all nuclear devices recorded have either been detonated of their own accord or removed from the water prior to completion. Devices constructed by SCP-118 appear to be larger than man-made devices of similar design and yield, presumably due to the neutron moderating effect of the water that separates the uranium masses through much of the device's construction. A given assembly area typically has between 1 and 3 devices in the process of assembly at any given time, although as many as 6 at a time have been observed. In zones where multiple devices are being simultaneously assembled, the devices are separated by enough distance to prevent the detonation of one from destroying or setting off the others. While the Foundation is unable to prevent civilians and other organizations from obtaining samples of SCP-118, its superficial similarity to existing species, few numbers relative to all oceanic Protista, lack of anomalous behavior outside of material-rich bodies of water, and the Foundation's standard of monitoring scientific studies at risk of uncovering information about anomalous biological species ensures that the chance of SCP-118's true nature being determined through cell samples is minimal. I want to die. There are currently 6 different active SCP-118 assembly areas known to the Foundation. While the natural disappearance of an assembly area has been observed, the current consensus among researchers assigned to SCP-118 is that elimination of assembly areas without massively noticeable effects is currently unfeasible. See Experiment Log 118, Gamma, for details. Thus, containment is to be established at SCP-118's assembly areas, to be designated red zones and surrounding yellow zones. Furthermore, areas with elevated concentrations of SCP-118 zones of interest are to be monitored for signs of assembly areas. List of containment zones. Level 4 clearance required.
Honestly, completely fair if we skip this. This is just location.
Okay. Mid-Atlantic. Okay. All the coordinates are redacted. Any of the names are relatively inconsequential. I'm just going to read location and any notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Red Zone 1, Mid-Atlantic. Note, USS redacted incident occurred redacted kilometers outside this red zone. Thank you for sharing. Red Zone 2 is in the North Pacific. Red Zone 4 is in the South Pacific. Where the fuck did 3 go? I
One
assume that's the one that
naturally died
disappeared.
off.
Yeah, I know. I was saying that. 5 is in the Indian Ocean. Note, proximity to shipping lanes reduces tolerance for nuclear explosions. Okay, good, great. Glad we got that sorted out. Red Zone 6 in the North Atlantic. Note, proximity to USS SOSUS hydrophones reduces tolerance for nuclear explosions. Thanks for that. Helix, if you would. Red Zone 7 location is also redacted. Oh, that's fun. Note, Red Zone lies within redacted city limits. This, combined with the shallow average depth of Red Zone, the heavy shipping traffic in the area, the ongoing tensions between redacted and redacted, a nuclear power, and the presence of Foundation personnel and facilities in the city makes a nuclear detonation in this Red Zone unacceptable. In addition, heavy ship traffic through the area and heavy air traffic above the city makes restricting access for any long period of time impractical.
Oh,
Got it. So that one's less of like containment and more we're stealing radioactive isotopes out of the water.
Yeah. Alright. I had something to say. What happens if they just take the nuke out and just drop it by another group of them? Like, they
They
take
probably
one from
just
Red Zone 1,
build
bring
it.
it to 2. Like, do they start just disassembling that one for parts, or do they just start building upon it?
I mean, they seem to have like a general idea of how big the bomb is that they want to
Yeah.
build somehow. So I assume they would just take what's already been made.
Yeah.
Okay. Zones of interest. Zone 1 is in redacted coordinates, but SCP-118 levels increasing by about 5% per year, and the zone is growing by approximately 3% per year. Ugh. That's not good.
Yeah.
Zone of Interest 3. Zone of Interest covers approximately 20 oil wells. Oh, good. SCP-118 levels and Zone of Interest size currently stable, though. Okay. Former zones. Okay, yeah, so former zone, Red Zone 3. Last device assembled in 1992, SCP-118 levels dropped to average oceanic values at 20 for depth. I like how it's just the average value.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, they
Yeah.
can't do anything about it.
They're just floating everywhere, I imagine.
Yeah. Zone of Interest 2, SCP-118 levels dropped to average oceanic levels in 86. Okay. Addendum 118-1. Following the USS Redacted incident, the exclusion radius used when drawing red zones has been increased. Containment Protocol Toxic Harvest has been updated. Addendum 118-2. With the signing of the Partial Test Ban Treaty and growing number and capacity of nuclear detonation detection methods in use, the consequences of nuclear detonations caused by SCP-118 have increased. Containment protocols have been revised in light of these facts. Addendum 118-3. Due to the significant cost of containing SCP-118 red zones, the O5 Council has requested trials on possible methods to eliminate SCP-118 assembly areas. Good. Experiment log 118 gamma. Level 4 clearance was required. Oh dear god. This is not nearly as bad as the fucking polyhedron I read about before, but I'm having a real bad time with aquatic themed SCPs being really wordy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Introduction. Researchers with access to the files on SCP-118 are allowed to submit proposals to eradicate an SCP-118 assembly area with acceptable levels of collateral damage. The ones approved by Toxic Harvest Command and the O5 Council will be carried out. Trials are to be performed in Red Zone Redacted. Proposal. Sterilization of unfinished nuclear device and immediate surroundings using a UV light emitter. Approval. Approved. Result. Area around unfinished warhead initially free of microorganisms. However, SCP-118 concentration returned to normal levels within an hour. Non-sustained sterilizations of sites seems ineffectual. Any method we come up with will have to keep the red zone, or at least the seafloor of it, free of SCP-118 for an extended period of time. Dr. Brandt. Proposal. Sodium hydrochloride pumped to ocean floor. Approval. Denied. Results. Not applicable. The chemicals will disperse too much to be effective. Any amount sufficient to reduce SCP-118's numbers will cause massive ecological damage. Dr. Klaus. Proposal. Depth charge bombardment of ocean floor to break up under-assembly devices. Approval. Denied. Results not applicable. Aside from the fact that this would break our naval budget, the chances of triggering the conventional explosive in the device and causing a fizzle is too high. It would also make our activities even more detectable with hydrophones. Dr. Klaus. Proposal. Sweeping of ocean using a Cobalt-60 powered directional gamma ray emitter. Approval. Approved. Result. While procedure resulted in sterilization of a swept area, procedure was far too slow to sterilize entire red zone before specimens return. Keeping entire red zone sterile would require impractical numbers of emitters and vessels. While it's a shame the device cannot get rid of the red zones for us, I think it can be of use to our device recovery teams. The gamma rays can sterilize the devices we recovered to prevent undesired detonations during the recovery of almost complete devices. The gamma rays can also penetrate into areas where our current chemical and UV sterilization methods can reach. Captain Thompson, RZ-3 Zone Commander. May he rest in peace. He looks if you would.
Oh, may he rest in peace.
Proposal. A plastic membrane to block access to ocean floor at red zone. Approval. Proof of concept on one under-assembly warhead approved. Result. First attempt was unable to acquire a watertight seal around waterhead. Membrane in second attempt was too fragile for ocean conditions and was torn off at its moors. Third membrane, manufactured using a thicker and sturdy design, had hundreds of micro tears ripped in it within hours. possibly due to SCP-118's mining action. Ugh. Not surprising, considering that SCP-118 has been known to wear through the casings of old artillery shells to harvest the explosives within. We had hoped that cutting off the assembly area would work better than cutting off the raw materials. Dr. Class. Proposal. Compound redacted pumped to ocean floor. Note. Proposed by Dr. Redacted, former researcher for SCP-118, currently working at Bioresearch Site Redacted's Chemical Research Division. Tests confirm the compound is lethal to SCP-118, remains concentrated at bottom of ocean, and degrades into relatively harmless chemicals in water over a period of 15 hours. Approval approved. Result. Over 1 week, SCP-118 concentrations in ocean floor fell to 3% of previous levels. No signs of progress observed in 2 known incomplete nuclear devices in red zone. However, 100 days after the start of the experiment, an under-assembly nuclear device was detected 60 kilometers north of the red zone. Measurements in the area indicated vastly elevated levels of SCP-118, and the area around Discovery was reclassified as a red zone. Furthermore, the unexpected breakdown of compound reducted by certain species of oceanic bacteria resulted in toxic byproducts that caused a noticeable die-off of fish in treated zone. Upon stoppage of experiment, red zone was observed to greatly migrate back to its former
Gradually
location.
migrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that making a red zone non-viable served only to move SCP-118's assembly areas to a new location. Nevertheless, if we can improve Compound Redacted or find a new one whose applications is more subtle, we can move red zones into areas away from areas of human habitation or commercial activity. Dr. Redacted. Use of SCP Redacted via Redacted. Approval. Denied. Results. Non-conclusive. Or not applicable. SCP Redacted has classified properties that preclude its use in such a manner. 055. Go fuck yourself. Conclusion. Due to increased media attention to areas around Red Zone Redacted due to aftermath of the application of Combat Redacted and the lack of proposals without high risks of substantial collateral damage, testing in Red Zone Redacted has been suspended. Helix, if you would.
Sorry, scratching the back of my head.
Addendum 118-4, Level 4 clearance required. Our research has determined SCP-118 enriches uranium by exploiting the fact that U-235 has a slightly greater preference for a high oxidation state than U-238. SCP-118 specimens which have harvested large amounts of uranium are near assembly areas appear to develop specialized organelles resembling a series of thousands of vascular-like chambers with mitochondria-like organelles within them, responsible for catalyzing reduction and oxidation reactions. In a given chamber, uranium is repeatedly reduced and oxidized. Compounds with uranium in higher oxidation states are transferred up the chain of chambers, while compounds with lower oxidation states are transferred down the chain. This results in a small amount of highly enriched uranium at the very end of the chain. Researchers and engineers at Research Sector Redacted have managed to create a prototype uranium enrichment device based on the principles employed by SCP-118. While the prototype was unable to produce weapons-grade uranium without using unreasonable amounts of time, it was successful in producing reactor-grade uranium, albeit at significantly greater cost than conventional methods. Despite its current limitations, the idea shows promise, and I have forwarded our findings to the relevant front companies. Dr. Redacted. Cool, great. God.
Incredible.
This
Bacteria
was
that
written
make
by a
nukes.
nuclear physicist, I think.
Yeah. Why do they do that? Just kind of seems unnecessary. Do they just do it for fun? Because it's not
Yes.
like they're, building them in extreme. There's like one that's in extremely dangerous areas, but most are just out in the ocean.
I mean, anywhere. I mean, enough nuclear explosions in the water, even if people don't notice them, would just fuck up the water, Helix.
Yeah, that's true, but
And especially if they are
at the
implied to be
same
like
time, it's not
growing
fucking
slowly
up
over
the
time.
water enough that they just, fuck up the water and get rid of the nukes. Because they still have to do safer things, I guess. Because the whole goal with trying to solve it was stuff that wouldn't cause too much damage to the ecosystem. But I think a nuke going off causes more damage than most of the shit they do. potentially.
I mean,
I
they're also just trying to keep. Remember, they're trying to contain these things, keep them out of public eyes.
That's true.
They don't want people going anywhere near them. If people are like, "Hey, why is this fish coated in red 40?"
I
Then
think
you
I'm
know,
gonna call it a little early there because I'm really fucking tired.
yeah, that
And,
was particularly
yeah. It's called the
the
Brittle
brittle
Boy.
boy. Oh, that's so fucked up. I love it.
Yeah.
Dragon Sales.
Try it
Let's fucking
then.
go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you everybody for stopping. And
Thank you everyone for coming by. Goodbye.
goodbye.